Good evening, and it's time for our Village Board meeting. Today is 18th, 2000, and we'll call this meeting in order at 7:30 p.m. Can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Trustee Dalzell?
Here.
Trustee Zielinski?
Here.
Trustee Juarez? At this time, Trustee Juarez is absent. Trustee McLaughlin?
Here.
Trustee Murphy? At this time, Trustee Murphy is absent. Trustee Navas-Esparza?
Here.
Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start our meeting this evening with a bid opening. This is for the 2021 motor fuel tax general maintenance resurfacing program, and also the same 2020-2021 general maintenance crack sealing program as well.
Thank you, Mayor Ryan. Beginning with the 2021 MFT street resurfacing, we have a total of 6 bids this evening. The first one is from Gallagher Asphalt, 18100 South Indiana Avenue, Thornton, Illinois, 60476-1299.
Trustee? Good. Yeah, are you trying to get on the Zoom meeting? Yeah, I'll just leave the line open, okay? Yeah, okay, thanks.
There is a bid bond included, and the total of the bid is $361,542.64. 361,542.64.
So for the record also, Trustee Juarez joined the meeting on Zoom at 7:33, and Trustee Murphy was having technical difficulties, and he's on my cell phone listening at the same time. He just joined as well at 7:33.
Thank you, Mayor Ryan.
So both trustees, the clerk is opening up some, we've got 6 bids for the maintenance resurfacing, MFT, as well as the crack sealing program as well.
The second bid for street resurfacing is from Brothers Asphalt Paving Incorporated, 315 South Stewart Avenue, Addison, Illinois, 60101. They have included a bid bond. Their total proposal is $338,101.92. That's 338,101.92. The next bid received is from D as in David Construction Incorporated, 1488 South Broadway, Coal City, Illinois, 60416. They have included a bid bond. The total proposal is $347,734.79. That's 347,734.79. The next bid received is from Lindhall Brothers Incorporated, 622 East Green Street, Bensonville, Illinois, 60106. They have included a bid bond, and the total of their proposal is $334,811.14. It's 334,811.14. The next proposal we've received is from K5 Construction Corporation, 999 Oakmont Plaza Drive, Suite 200, Westmont, Illinois, 60559. They have included a bid bond. Their total is $336,344.65. That is 336,344.65. And the final bid received for the street resurfacing is from Iroquois Paving Corporation, 1889 East US Highway 24, Watseka, Illinois, 60970. They have included a bid bond. Their total is $312,024.73. It's 312,024.73. So that concludes the bid opening for the 2021 MFT street resurfacing.
Okay, thank you.
I have one more.
Oh,
We get to do crack sealing.
The next bid opening is for the fiscal year 2021 crack sealing program. We have received two proposals on this. The first one is from Denler, Denler Incorporated, 20502 South Cherry Hill Road, Joliet, Illinois, 60433-9761. They have included a bid bond. Their total is $57,006.95. That's 57006.95. The second bid we have received is from SKC Construction, 695 Church Road, Elgin, Illinois, 60123-9308. They have included a bid bond, and their total is $59,011.59. So that's 59.
Structure projects, monies are concerned, I sent a nice message to both senators, included the cost projects that we talked about, because for all properties, both here at the hall, the Public Works, pumping station, boat launch, you name it. All of them were slated to be done in fiscal year 21, and right now that's off the table. So maybe with their help, we might be able to bring that idea back. We'll see what happens. I also had a major hotel in town ask if we could review their hotel motel taxes to see if we can give them any relief at the same time then too. That's actually that tax on hotel motels is about 6% of the gross rooms sales on each hotel room that goes out. So, I don't know how far. If first off, this is a board decision, but furthermore would be whether or not we want to just offer that for a short term or a half a year or whatever the case may be to the end of the COVID-19. I'm not sure what the board wants to do, but please keep that in mind because that is an ask right now yet too. They're very important to not only our community, but to our economy as well then too. What else do I have on here? Oh, I had a message today from the Illinois Municipal League, and they wanted all the mayors to acknowledge the General Assembly meeting later this week, starting Wednesday, in what's known as a joint proclamation. And I'd like to read this into the record that the State of Illinois 101st General Assembly joint proclamation, whereas the Article 4, Section 5B of the Illinois Constitution empowers the President of the Senate and the House to convene a special of the General Assembly, whereas as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, a demonstrable emergency exists which requires immediate action by the General Assembly. The General Assembly, as a separate co-equal branch of Illinois government, has the responsibility to continue the work of Illinois citizens and address the urgent matters of the state. The General Assembly provides an essential government function to ensure the continuing operation of the government and to provide for the support or support the health, safety, and welfare of the public. The General Assembly will take all reasonable precautions to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the members, staff, and public during the special session by following recommended COVID-19 safety guidelines issued by the Illinois Department of Public Health. And now, therefore, pursuant to Article 4, Section 5B of the Illinois Constitution, and in conformity with the Special Session Act 25, ILCS 15, a special session of the 101st General Assembly is hereby proclaimed and called as follows. The special session shall convene beginning May 20th, 2020 in Springfield, Illinois, at the time established by the presiding officer. The House of Representatives shall convene at the of Springfield, and the Senate shall convene State Capitol Building. The purpose of the special session shall be solely to consider new or pending legislative measures in relation to A, the COVID-19 pandemic and other disasters, B, the state budget and its implementation, C, economic recovery, infrastructure projects, and the funding thereof, D, the explanation, arguments for and against, and the form for constitutional amendments as required under the Illinois Constitutional Amendment Act. E, laws or authorities scheduled to be repealed prior to the June 1st, 2021. F, the 2020 general election and the State Board of Elections. And G, the hospital assessment program. Finally, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of the Senate, and the Clerk of the House shall take whatever reasonable steps necessary to notify the members of the purpose of the date and time for convening this emergency special session. And this has been issued May 13th, 2020 by both Don Harmon, who's the President of the Senate, and also Michael J. Madigan, the Speaker of the House. So I did extend a courtesy to our state representatives as well today, and hope they have a good session when considering all issues at hand. Finally, I've had a lot of calls to my office, and I want to just remind everybody where we stand as far as the governor's recommendation for recovery, and from the when we can actually get back to Restore Illinois. Currently, I just had a couple of notes here. Obviously, Phase 1 was the initial spread. We're in what's known as Phase 2 right now, is the flattening. And basically, this is the rate of infection among those tested and the number of patients admitted to the hospital beds and ICU beds. Right now, Illinoisans are directed to wear a face covering when outside of the home and can begin enjoying additional outdoor activities like golf, boating, and fishing while practicing social distancing. To varying degrees, every region is experiencing flattening as of early May. Next will be the Phase 3 coming up. The rate of infection among those surveillance tested, the number of patients admitted to hospitals, and basically what they're saying is in Phase 3, manufacturing, offices, retail, barbershops, salons can reopen to the public with capacity and other limits and safety precautions. In other words, they're still saying gatherings limited to 10 people or fewer are allowed. Still, face coverings with distancing are the norm. So again, we're still pretty far out yet from Phase 4, which basically that's going to be gatherings of 50 people or fewer are going to be allowed, where restaurants and bars will reopen, travel resumes, child care and schools reopen, and obviously Phase 5. So the last thing on here was the Illinois Municipal League suggests that municipalities consider postponing or canceling community events and large gatherings throughout the summer. And under the governor's Restore Illinois plan, gatherings of 50 people or fewer are not allowed until Phase 4. Again, we're still in Phase 2 right now. And it's recommended that all communities comply with the governor's executive orders. And they also remind everybody, municipal officials should consult with their legal counsel prior to taking any formal or informal action that would conflict with the executive order, as that would create a liability exposure to the municipal government or those municipal officials. So again, as much as we all want to open up more businesses and whatnot, we still are adhering to the governor's executive order at this time. That's all I had for my report this evening. I'll have the clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Could you forward a copy of that proclamation so that we can get it into the minutes correctly? Thank you very much. That was very easy. Forwarded complete. I have presentation and approval of the April 2020 FOIA report. There were 11 requests last month. And also the presentation and approval of the April 2020 IDOT motor fuel tax allotment in the amount of $57,173.08. That is all, Mayor Ryan. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we had the attorney's report. We have Mike Kankar with us tonight.
No report, sir.
Right, Mike. And engineer's report, he's been excused this evening. No report. public forum. We have no one here from the public available tonight. Dan Travin's sitting there looking like a member of the public. Dan, you want to say anything? All right, thank you. All right. Next is the standing committee reports, Finance and IT. Trustee McGlohorn.
First, I have a request for approval of a list of payroll dated May 8th, 2020, totaling $433,149.10. Next, I have a request for approval of accounts payable dated May 18th, 2020. From the recap, General Fund, $446,776.96. Road and Bridge, $8,415.41. MFT, $7,762.35. Pulaski Road Corridor TIF, $799.50. Water and Sewer, $690,829.05. Heritage, $104,662.52, for a grand total all funds of $1,259,245.79. And finally, I have a request for approval of an engagement letter with Lauterbach and Amon to provide actuarial accounting reports associated with the police pension fund, the firefighters pension fund, other post-employment benefits, as well as OPEB funding reports for the current year as requested. The fiscal 21 cost for the fiscal year 20 report is $10,275. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. The Fire Committee report, Trustee Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor Ryan. Chief Szynski to present an updated report on the pandemic.
All right. Thank you, Trustee Mayor. Just to give a quick update, it's I think a little over a month and a half since I've been to one of these meetings. I did a Zoom meeting a couple weeks ago, and I know I've been in constant communication with Mayor Ryan a couple of times with Trustee Murphy and just where we're at. So it's been very challenging for us, just as everybody else has since March when all this started. One of our biggest challenges in the beginning was to get enough equipment, PPE, for all of our folks and what we're doing out there. So for probably about a month, we were flying by the seat of our pants. Trying to get equipment as best as we can and try to get what everybody else was doing out there also. We were fortunate enough we were able to get some stuff from Cook County Department of Homeland Security as well as the Illinois Department of Public Health. We're pretty well stocked right now. We've changed some of our responses. We took our reserve ambulance, our backup ambulance, and we made it as a COVID transport ambulance. So we try to minimize the amount of personnel that are exposed to any possible or confirmed COVID people, as well as the equipment also, so we're not cross-contaminating anybody as well. It's worked out very well. Since the beginning of this, we've transported 26 suspected people that had COVID, and we've had 14 confirmed people of COVID that we've transported to the hospital. Not all of them are Alsip residents. Oaklawn Central, our dispatch center, has done an excellent job with the first layer of screening when they do the first 911 calls. And then we have 2 other layers that we put in place as well, and that dictates how we respond, what equipment responds, what ambulances are going to transport to the hospital, and it's worked out very well so far. We've provided all of our personnel regular surgical masks also, so when they're in the public, they meet the criteria that's out there for face coverings, as well as the N95 masks. We want to limit our N95 masks. There's a program out there through the state. It's called Battelle, and they will actually disinfect our N95 masks and get them back to us, so they can do it up to 20 times. So Scott Freed, one of my firefighters, I appointed him as our infectious control officer, so he's responsible for that program. So we're repurposing the use. So again, we're saving our equipment. We don't know what's going to happen down the road if we're going to see an influx like they keep saying. Right now, a lot of the states that are starting to reopen right now, we're kind of watching that and to see if they have an influx, and that's going to dictate what we're going to do and what it means for our equipment. So we're pretty well stocked. Like I said, we've done a lot of research. We were able to secure a lot of equipment through various places, so we are preset, and our guys are monitoring it all the time to make sure we are ahead of the schedule, if you will. And that includes both hand sanitizer, as well as we have a program in place for disinfecting on a regular basis, all of our equipment plus our stations. They do go throughout the stations 2 or 3 times a day and clean hard surfaces and disinfecting as well. We've also had Servpro come out. They've come out twice now to deep clean and disinfect both stations. The last time was this past Friday, and we have a schedule for one more time in June as well, so they've done a very good job with it and just gives our guys more of a peace of mind that we're doing this in place as well. We are limiting visitors to the firehouse. We do not allow any outside visitors right now. We will play that by ear coming up June 1 to see if we change that a little bit or kind of open it up a little bit. Just depends on what the numbers are. I do go online every day and see how many numbers of Alsipians have COVID from beginning from March 17th, and right now I think we're at 194 is what I looked at earlier. So we still have a pretty low count in our village right now. So we also put in for, there was a $100 million COVID grant that was out there, so we put in for a micro grant of $3,000. What we were looking at purchasing is non-disposable half face masks. So to do right now. We're seeing the same thing with some of our businesses, and just based on some of our calls that we're on, we really need to make sure everybody's up to what they need to do for annual inspection. So that June 1st, and then we also have provisions to keep our people protected while they're in the business as well, such as masks and gloves and stuff like that. So then we are going to start opening up CPR classes for EMT students and fire students. One of the things that's considered essential is the continuation of EMS training and fire training. So both these groups need CPR to move on with paramedic training and EMS training. So we also have provisions for that right now. So that's pretty much about it right now. We're monitoring the situation. We make adjustments. Probably for the first 3 weeks, we probably made 20 adjustments to what we're doing, and we finally tapered off. So now we can kind of look to see how well it's working out and start trying to go back to some of the things we were doing a little bit before, but also being very cautious also and watching the whole big picture, if you will. So that's it. Thank you.
Very good.
I just had a
Yes.
I just had a question, since we're at home and I have 2 young children. Any fire safety tips that you can think of that as parents we can go over? I know at 2 a.m. our little fire alarm went off because we need to change the battery. It said battery low, and my son freaked out because a voice was talking in the middle of the night. So any tips that you can give to young children or parents with young children?
Yeah, the biggest thing with young children is the more time they're at home and they don't have a lot to do, they're going to be more curious about things from what they see on TV. So this is where sometimes we might see more of an influx of where they're curious about lighters and matches and stuff like that, or if they're trying to help mom and dad do some cooking around the house, and even maybe sometimes on their own when mom is in another room, or they're doing something else or whatever, or they're on their Zoom meetings. So just kind of make sure they're aware of they still shouldn't play with matches or lighters, or just if they want to cook or whatever, just make sure the parents are around as well. That's probably the biggest things. We're going to start looking at doing some fire safety tips through our Facebook page as well, just to pass some of the time away. We know that as this goes on more and more, that people are starting to get more antsier and more anxious, and they're going to find the things to do, not necessarily the best things to do or the right things to do. So it's just the biggest thing is just keep an eye open for things and just kind of, just reinforce that part of it as well. So.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say happy EMS week.
Oh, yes, that's this week as well. So, yes, thank you. Usually the hospitals usually do something for us every year, and like everything else, it's really nothing's going to happen this year with that as well. So
I do remember seeing something on Facebook that you received a donation from a local business.
We get a lot of donations, maybe from Whittingham's.
Yes.
Is that from Whittingham's? Yes. We received 3 care packages today, so we're going to split it up between each shift and each station as well. So Whittingham's awesome. They're a great company in town. They've been in town for a very long period of time. Their general manager, I actually worked with him at another fire department many years ago. Yeah, they take care of us really well all the time. We really do appreciate their business in town. So,
Chief, just a quick note. I know you come in every day, and I know we talk every other. Tomorrow, for sure, remind me. I got still more product back here from Coca-Cola. I made the rounds a couple weeks ago to all the firehouses, and I keep, I've just been really tied to my desk.
Okay.
If you come by tomorrow, you can take both stations, or I'll take one, you
yeah,
take the other.
what I'll do is I'll have them come by in the pickup truck, and they can distribute it between
That's
both
cool.
stations.
Yeah, because I've been sharing it with Police, Public Works, and you guys, and I haven't been able to get over in the last couple of weeks and stuff, so I still got more product in the back of the room. We'll get rid of that, okay?
And we're also happy to see our building continuing in town. Some of the bigger projects, especially Coca-Cola, still moving forward. So it's great for our village that we're still able to see that happening right now.
Building Commissioner and I, we've been still taking meetings with these guys, and actually, Danny, I know you were on one coming up with the electricians. They're going to be putting in their own medical clinic out at the school.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, you guys had a meeting? Okay, yeah, I spoke to their president, Don Finn, and he's real excited, too. They're looking forward to putting in their own minute clinic out at the apprenticeship
that's what I was
school
told.
and stuff, too. So.
I'm like everybody else. I probably hit anywhere from about 15 to 20 between Zoom meetings and webinars and updates from IDPH every week or whatever. So I'm zoomed out at this point.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody else is.
I can't get away from my desk. I'm doing the same thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, thanks, Chief. Next is the Police and Traffic Safety, Trustee Dalzell.
There's a letter of recognition for 2 incidents. First one is on the 13th of April, 2020, 0120. Officer Schmidt, star 67, in the area of 160 Ellis, relocated an unoccupied suspicious vehicle. Officer Schmidt made contact with the individual in the driver's seat who appeared to be unresponsive. Upon waking the subject, now known as Furman Diaz from Blue Island, Officer Schmidt detected a strong odor of cannabis emanating from the vehicle. Based on the officer's observations and information obtained from Diaz, a search of the vehicle was conducted. During the search, 616 grams of cannabis flower and 70.96 grams of THC-infused products were located in his 2008 Toyota RAV4. Officer Schmidt placed Diaz in custody based upon a large quantity of cannabis and cannabis products recovered and was able to lodge felony charges for the possession. His actions during this incident are worthy of special mention and recognition. His attention to the details within the incident speaks highly of his dedication to aggressively detect criminal activity and arrest criminal offenders. Also proudly shows his deep commitment to helping the agency accomplish its mission and goals, and it was by Chief Miller. The second incident involves 7 officers. One was Officer Margaret Wilder, star 75, a really good star number. Detective Nick Yodelis, star 74. Officer Jim Brongill, star 66. Officer Hector Puente, star 57. Officer Caitlin star 80. And Sergeant Michael, star 16. And lastly, Sergeant Josh Spencer, star number 12. On 11 of the April of 2020, approximately 1,300 hours, officers from the Alsip Police Department responded to the 3600 block of 120th Street in regards to a domestic-related incident where it was believed that a female is being held against her will at gunpoint by her boyfriend. The responding officers met with family members and gathered information as to the exact location of the 19-year-old female. In an attempt to make contact at the suspected apartment, officers met with an uncooperative family member who obstructed and hindered their investigation. Upon making entry into the apartment, officers were able to safely locate the 19-year-old female along with the arrestee. A Tech-9 firearm was located at the time of the arrest. When all was said and done, a 19-year-old suspect had been charged with 1 count of aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. All these officers, their actions during this incident are worthy of special mention and recognition. The attention to the details of the incident speaks highly of their dedication to aggressively detect criminal activity and arrest criminal offenders. Also proudly shows their commitment to helping the accomplish its mission and goals. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Nice work by everybody, too. I'll certainly speak with the chief. Also, Trustee, I'm going to ask Chief Miller at the next board meeting to share our new, it's kind of a nice surprise. We're going to share a new division of the police department that he's going to unveil, and he's done a great job putting something together that's going to, for the summer. So I'll ask Chief to be here to demonstrate the new equipment and so forth then too. So thank you very much. Next, the Public Work and Boat Launch, Trustee Juarez.
Is she muted?
Trustee, can you hear me? No, give me a second.
She muted?
No, not muted, but I was looking for sound.
Should be at the top bar.
Oh, you're right, Chief, I see it. Okay, try now, Trustee.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yay.
Thank you.
Okay, I said, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Public Works Department for National Public Works Week this week. And I also want to thank Mike and all the guys for doing such a great job, especially this weekend with all the rain that we've had. And just keep up the good work with everything that they're doing.
I want to add to that, I actually took a lap around town today to survey any flooding that might have happened. We had over 7 inches of rain in the last couple of days that came down. And while the
Only 7?
MWRD doesn't acknowledge Alsip as on a floodplain, but certainly we do have some low-lying areas. Probably the worst hit, and there's a couple of spots, but everyone was out this morning. I was out about 8:30 looking at some different neighborhoods. All the water receded, so our sewer lines are clear. I spoke with Superintendent Frater. Our lines are clear, but unfortunately the area down near 125th and Trumbull is adjacent to like a lot of the cemeteries, and we are passing a little bit of blame on to Cook County to feel that their sewers might not be as clean as ours. And actually, they had a county sheriff sitting out in the middle of 123rd today with a bubbling crude coming up and stuff yet too. And they actually threw the sewer cap blew right off the thing and stuff, and the water, it was probably shooting about 6-7 inches in the air. It's still coming out of there at 9 o'clock this morning. So the water has no place else to go. And I feel horrible for some of those residents that might have took on a little bit of water in the area, but our lines are clean, and obviously you can, by the way it receded by morning, demonstrated such too, and that's been a big thing with us. I talk to Mike and Dan all the time about our infrastructure, and we do have good pipes in our town, and Danny's doing his part with the water mains and stuff, and Mike is on the storm sewer side of life. And we're trying to do everything we can to keep those lines available to everybody. We just did all the Instaform for just recently, and that really helped us out as well too. That was an interesting presence that we put in there too, to reline all of our pipes. So again, I know a couple of people had some displaced furniture and whatnot, and it's I feel terrible about that, but we do know that our lines are good to go. So next is the sewer and water report. Trustee Nava-Esparza.
Thank you, Mayor. Presentation and approval of the Sewer and Water Department April 2020 monthly activity report. The second item, approval to award the Pulaski Road and Springfield Avenue water main replacement contract to the lowest bidder, Swallow Construction.
I'm sorry, we can't hear her at all.
Swallow Construction Corporation in the amount of $708,537.16. That's all I have.
Okay. Next, also, Danny Traben and I were just talking, Dan, about the Rebuild Illinois grants. And Dan, I appreciate, the qualified list of engineers. Boy, it's amazing. The closest one that they were qualifying was either in Ottawa or Rockford, for that kind of thing. But
and we're not limited to those people.
Yeah.
They just recommend those as being, experience.
So what I'm talking about is Friday, both Dan and Mike Freder sat in on a webinar on a Rebuild Illinois grant program, and we have to have our request in by what, June 12th, Danny? 15th. So I still want to pursue that, even though we don't know these guys. I want our engineer to work with them, and let's do our best to see what we can do and stuff then too. Okay. I'm really not going to strike up a conversation with a firm we've never even worked with before. We've got plenty of confidence in our own guys and stuff, but that would just a preferred list. That doesn't mean that's the only guys they're talking to.
Correct.
Okay. So well, thanks, Dan. Whatever help you need, certainly I'm in. Okay. All right. Next is the Building and Health, Trustee Zelinski.
First, we have a presentation and approval of the Building Department April 2020 monthly activity report. Second, presentation and approval of the Building Department fiscal year 2020 yearly activity report. That's all I have this evening, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll go to the Human Resource and Insurance, Trustee Murphy.
No report this evening, Mayor.
All right. I will make just a quick note instead of waiting for the communication part of it. I am in contact right now with our Human Resource Manager, Shanae Hunter, and we are making plans to basically get the Village Hall ready to reopen, hopefully soon by the end of the month. Me personally, I wanted to open it today, but the state said that they didn't feel it was selling vehicle stickers was an essential necessity per se. So we're gonna wait until the state says it's they're okay with us opening up public buildings. Certainly that was our choice to close it, but they didn't think it was necessary to reopen. So we are making arrangements right now. I told her I want to have everyone's going to have masks at the windows. They're all going to be wearing masks now at all of our windows, and everyone's going to have gloves to use. Becky, I've got her ordering individual, inexpensive pens for people, so we're not sharing pens with anybody and stuff then too. And also I'm going to get a third-party contractor, much like Chief Szynski just said, with maybe even like ServPro. I'm going to have the Village Hall disinfected real well and everything then too. So
I'm sorry, Mayor, go ahead.
So as soon as we have a better idea on date, we'll schedule the cleaning. We'll get closer to that, and we'll repeat it at some point. Then,
I guess we'll have to regularly schedule once we...
Yeah. So I'll find out from them what they're going to recommend, how long the disinfectant works. Chief Szynski, we talked earlier today about your test coming up too for
Yes.
fire department.
Yes.
And typically they used to do that at the junior high. This year we're going to do it at in our conference room, and the chief's going to have his guys disinfect the room, the seats and everything else and stuff yet too. So.
Correct.
Okay. Thanks, Chief. Next, the Economic Development, Trustee Nava-Esparza.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, we all know that our business community is taking a hit, and as I've mentioned in previous meetings, there are resources that are administered under the Small Business Administration, also the Small Business Development Centers. This is a time for businesses also to perhaps identify areas of weaknesses and perhaps tools that exist to strengthen their business once this is all over. But on that note, shopping local, just want to emphasize that, and also highlighting businesses in Alsip that are doing good. And I came across a Facebook post by Country House Restaurant and Kitchen Company. It's called the Country House Challenge. They use the hashtag Combat COVID-19 Challenge. So I'll read it verbatim. Our 100,000th, so 100,00 complimentary feast served. Seniors, veterans, first responders, healthcare, families, children. We ask you all to read the following and share, as after 2 months and $235,000 of our own funds, over $130,000 raised, we complete 2 months of this initiative that was started to bridge 3 weeks of shelter. As the need has not diminished but grown, we are really trying to keep the effort up. Words cannot explain the unbelievable outpouring of support. We take a moment to share how amazing our Country House staff has been. They try to show up to work every day as a team. They are careful to heed the precautions to make sure every meal goes out safely and tasty. They keep a smile and a daily renewed attitude to treat everyone with hospitality and honor. It has not been easy on them, in fact, exhausting, but they always reflect on how the first responders and healthcare workers are the real heroes, and furthermore, how those that we serve are and have been heroes and are real humans who deserve dignity, and I am humbled. While we are trying to keep going, we are faced with financial realities, the same as any of our fellow Americans. What we again and again humbly and respectfully ask is to consider support. If you have already given, we do not ask that you give more, but share this post, the GoFundMe link, ask others that you may know who can help to please do so. Even $5 would cover a great meal. If you can give, please know that it is really helping. And then the post does go on. So just want to acknowledge Country House here in Alsip for the work that they're doing. And I know that there are institutions that exist within our borders that are also opening their doors, showing, I guess, acts of grace by helping to feed or provide masks and so forth in many different ways, and even our Alsip residents. So thank you. And it's a great reflection of our business community. So please shop local. Then just switching gears to the census. The census grant, again, was secured, and right now we're in the phases of reporting. So even just me mentioning the census in this public meeting counts as a census activity. We do have a YouTube channel, so we're keeping track of who's viewing our meetings as well. Just posts that we post on social media and so forth. An update from the banner company is that it's expected our banners will arrive around May 28th, so just be on the lookout for our banners. And the kiosk was purchased, the date of delivery is to be determined, and we're also exploring options with SSMMA for other census marketing that they're looking to fund. And that's my, and also just, if you haven't done it, please complete the census via phone, mail, or also online. And those are my updates.
And where's our percentage at now?
I believe we're at 68.2. Hold on, I can check right now. Hold on. The SSMA also delivers an e-newsletter, and they changed kind of like the list that they send out. So they have the Southland self-response rates for the 2020 census for the entire Southland. We're actually ranked 16 at 68.6%, and the top three municipalities in the Southland are Village of Tinley Park at 77.5, Village of Orland Park at 77.4, and Village of Mokina at 77.2. So I believe in 2010 we were around 72% for the village for response. So let's break our let's go over the 72%, and hopefully we're closer to 100. That's my goal, right? But please do your part. Funds, infrastructure, police, fire, education, and a lot of decisions, even businesses where they decide they want to look at census information. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I've got, we shared an email last week. I've got my assistant, Becky Smith. Becky is actually compiling a list right now of all the apartment complexes in our community, as I consider those the hard-to-count areas, and we're going to be putting up posters and so forth in all their hallways and so forth then, too. So,
yeah. So it's a long list.
Looking forward to that. The banners are going to look real nice, too, going down the roads. Also, what's the other banner program with the
Hometown Heroes.
Hometown Hero. I was going to say Hero program. The Hometown Hero, those are going to be going up, too. So Mike Freiter has got a good feel on where he feels, he's working with the Chamber and Kathy O'Hara and so forth, but then they're coming up with a plan where to best position those and stagger in the census ones at the same time. So we're going to make it look great in both ways.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Building and Health, Trustee Zelinski. I'm sorry, I already did that. We're down to village properties. Trustee McGlohorn.
No report this evening, Mayor.
All right. Ordinance and legislation, Trustee Zelinski.
No report, Mayor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Page 2, please.
You got an ordinance on page 2.
I'm sorry. Yes, we have an approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 12, Licenses, Permits, and Business Regulations. Article 20, and chances, the municipal code of the Village of Alsip. And that's all I have tonight.
Really, all that was, too, was a trustee, I always call him trustee, Attorney Joe Kankar, noticed in our raffle ordinance that we didn't recognize the Chamber of Commerce, and they want to organize a raffle. So that's all this was just an amendment to include the Chamber in a program like this. Next was the Plan, Zoning, and Licenses, trustee Juarez. She must have fell off. Committee?
I can take that. Presentation and approval of a list of licenses dated April 27th, 2020 through May 18th of 2020. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Did anyone have any presentations, petitions, or communications they wanted to share?
Yes, I'm sorry. Real quick, vehicle stickers you mentioned earlier. We are about two-thirds processed compared to where we were last year at this time, which I think is really, really good, considering Village Hall is not open. People are really mailing in, which is wonderful. We just ask that the public understand that mail takes time to get here, and we need time to process it, and then mail takes time to get back out. So we can't just hand it to you the same day. And just also a reminder, this is Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. And the next meeting is Tuesday next week on the 26th.
I got to add to that as well, too. Regarding Memorial Day this year, there will be no recognition at this time. Usually I always participate with the VFW, and I spoke to Commander Keith Kroll about a week ago, and Keith said that at this time, especially with the age of the membership, the social distancing they're trying to adhere to, and the fact that basically the post is closed, so in the case of inclement weather, it wouldn't have anywhere to go and so forth then too. So we're going to postpone that at this time. We're going to recognize that another time and stuff. So there's no memorial recognition at an organized one. Let's put it that way. Certainly you're welcome to visit the memorial anytime you wish, but we don't have a service this ceremony this time around. That's all. Did anyone wish to remove anything from the consent agenda? Can I get a motion then to approve, establish a consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 1 to establish the consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez? Let the record show that we believe Trustee Juarez dropped off at 8:20 p.m. Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you, Trustee Murphy. Trustee Navis-Barza?
Yes.
Motion carries to establish.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Roll call number 2 to approve the consent agenda. Letter C is in Charlie, approval of a list of payroll dated May 8th, 2020, totaling $433,149.10. Letter D is in David, approval of a list of accounts payable dated May 18th, 2020, totaling $1,259,245.79. Letter G is in George, approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 12, licenses, permits, and business regulations, Article 20, raffles and chances of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip will become ordinance number 2020-05-3. Again, this is roll call number 2 to approve the consent agenda as presented. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez? Still not back online. Thank you. Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Navis-Barza?
Yes.
Motion carries to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Did anyone have any unfinished business? Any new business?
I just got a question for Chief, since he's here. I had a question or two on the fire inspections.
Yes.
And new business comes to town, or business moves into town, or whatever. When there's a fire inspection, that gets paid through the, what was it, G7?
No. So when a new business moves in, or a new business is built, Joe Schmidt, one of our fire prevention officers, does the inspection, and we have set inspection fees for that. The 7G only covers the annual inspections that our firefighters do off duty, that come back off duty for.
Okay, so how much is it, just say a regular inspection is?
You mean for annual inspection?
He's talking about initial, like, a new
Initial,
business.
I believe it's $100. It's based on square footage.
Okay, now if there's any kind of discrepancies or whatever, and he has to come back a second time,
Then they get billed a second time.
They get-
All right, yeah, there's a process for that as well, how they get billed.
the business gets billed, or?
Yeah, if they don't, so when Joe goes in originally, he walks through them and tells them everything that they have to do. And then they're supposed to comply. So if they comply the second time, there's no follow-up, no billing with it. If he has to go back a repeated few times, which it does happen, and then we start billing them a second and third time because they're not complying as they were supposed to be as per the letter, if you will. So again, it's just time that we're spending there, and they should have been compliant the first time. They had the letter, what they had to have accomplished, and they chose not to follow that letter. We just went through that with one of our businesses that relocated from one building to another building, and it's been quite a process with them.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, and I'll tell you, I learned something there as well, too. You know, here this, it's, you know, they're a business that got set up here in town, they're a good business, but they moved from one building to another. Part of their compliance Knox box at this new location. And actually, I'm surprised the previous guy didn't have one out there already, Chief, but...
That business was there for probably 30 years, so they were under the radar the whole time, and they didn't have to be brought up because they never changed it all.
So instead of going through the regular Knox box company, this guy went to, like, you know, Amazon, eBay or something like that. He went through eBay, and he got one shipped over, had it installed and everything else, and here nothing was like it should be. He bought like something that was like 12 years old or something like that.
Yeah, actually
not
came
his
from-
fault either. I mean, he thought he was buying what he should be buying.
It was actually marked for Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Exactly. So it
Yeah,
didn't even
keys
have
don't work the same.
right credentials that we need, like with the key and everything like that. Everything's got a code to it.
Yeah.
And again, you deviate from that. And again, I didn't know myself, but again, you go through something like that, and again, it was earmarked for someplace in Colorado as opposed to where it's supposed to be here, and it was like 10 years old and stuff then too. But again, the guy's incurring fees. Now we're going back to try and do this again and stuff then too.
May
So.
I ask a question? The annual inspections you do on the iPads or something, right?
Correct.
And any kind of business inspections, are those done that way too?
No, the initial business inspections that Joel usually does, what he does is he jots everything down, then he sends the proposed business a letter, actually goes through the building department.
Oh, wow.
On what has to be accomplished. And once they tell us it's accomplished, they go back through the building department and they make the arrangement for follow-up inspection. So it's usually Joe and Commissioner Roger Early that go out at the same time for these places as well. So, but they usually receive a letter of everything that they have to accomplish, and we give them enough time to do that as well.
So then that would be kind of when the FOIAs request anything, and then I get the last inspections. And
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, Trustee Nellis
Aye.
Sparger, were you the second? Thank you, Trustee Murphy.
Thank you, Murph. And we'll adjourn this meeting then at 8:33. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Just with these microphones far, you can't hear me if I'm too close. I feel like you're speaking.